Good morning. I had the pleasure of observing 5 middle school teachers in their classroom environment. In my first video, I realized how important being creative in instruction keeps your students engaged. In this video, the instructor was very creative in keeping the students engaged. He made transitioning to the next part of the lesson very fun by using terms students thought were funny. He had them participating, getting up, sitting down, talking, all the things that students love to do. And that minimized any issues with classroom management, such as students not staying on task. Everyone was engaged. So I did love his techniques. Some positive takeaways. I love that he used participation points, which kept the students enthused and engaged as well. Everyone wanted to be a part of the lesson because they wanted to achieve those participation points as well. I love the fact that he used keywords, fun words that students were able to relate to, such as yipper, bummer. I love that he included students as much as possible. He gave students different tasks, such as scorekeeper, who was going to be the dancer. He was very inclusive with all of the students. What I did not like about that video was that, to me, the objective was not clear. I was so busy having so much fun that I was not sure what was being taught. We do tend to get very frustrated as educators when our students just won't cooperate with us, and one of the main issues is that our students will not stop talking. So he made learning so fun that the students were able to talk, get up, move around, all the things that as educators, when giving instruction, we don't want the kids to do. He incorporated that into his lesson and allowed the students to have a good time. In the second video, I realized how important hands-on activities and labs were. Aristotle once said, "For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them." In this video, the teacher allowed the students to be able to critically think on their own, which gives the students a better understanding of what they're learning because they tap into their kinesthetic learning. And especially in science, science is based on trial and error. So these students were learning from their mistakes, which was totally awesome. The fact that she had enough supplies for all of her students and was asking open-ended questions to allow them to think critically gave the students a self-independence. They were more dependent on themselves, which I enjoyed very much. A takeaway is to allow your students to be able to think critically and remain enthused throughout instruction, because if the teacher does not want to teach, why would the kids be? The third observation, and in the second, being that she had enough supplies and she allowed the students to think critically, that allowed no room for any behavioral issues. In observation 3, the teacher created a teaching style that's comfortable for all students, which I enjoy very much. We know that each student learns different. However, he created a teaching style that allowed all of the students to adapt to his teaching style, and it was very effective, and I thought that was awesome. A takeaway from observation 3 is to just make sure that learning's fun. Recognize that each student learns different and adapt to the way that they learn, and don't exclude any students. In observation 4, acknowledging positive behavior. When students are recognized for their great behavior, they exhibit that behavior over and over, which leads to their peers wanting to mimic that same behavior to be rewarded as well. So that's very important. In this video, you saw that the kids were excited to be recognized for their positive behavior. So they kept on mimicking that same behavior, which is very important. So it's important to give participation points. It's important to give homework passes. It's important to say, "Good job, Sam. Good job, Becky," because the students' self-esteem gets boosted and they want to please the teacher. So this will result in improving the child's academics, I personally feel like, and in Observation 5, building a positive rapport with your students. That's very important because that also minimizes behavioral issues in the classroom when you understand your student. Students are motivated to a higher extent when they feel like they can trust their teacher, and vice versa as well. A sense of comfort will increase with the students, which will allow them to open up and answer questions more freely. Some takeaways is just really getting to know your students. Take the time to listen. Don't just talk. Don't talk at them, talk to them. Be respectful. And if you want your students to respect you. And in that, that allowed for there to be also behavioral issues to be minimized. That is it for my 5 observations, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.